Yes.
So how do you come up with the ideas and gathering all these youth and sort of come up with the ideas of being a think tanks and all? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we're up and coming. We're very new. 1 year to like 2 months ago at March. So still a long way to go. But we're a collection of passionate individuals, policymakers in government and outside of government.
Millennials, all millennials.
Even Gen Zs.
Or Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gen Zs. We're passionate about how to
free trainings.
Free trainings, of course.
Okay. Not the paid.
Not the paid one. Free
so
trainings.
that's bad news for us, the association, because somebody needs to pay us, right, to train them. Okay.
Maybe accounting students or economic students or environmental science students can help have that certification.
Okay.
And the government can create a hub for these skills to be developed and trained. I think it would be awesome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes, oh yes. The carbonizers, carbon activists all over the world, welcome back to another episode of Carbon Forum. With me, Poempida Hidayatulloh. And today it's going to be very interesting because we're going to discuss a lot of things related to the carbon market in Indonesia, of course. And the approach that we're going to discuss is about multi-stakeholders. And with us, there's already a young man, a very bright young man joining us. His name is Mr. Kenneth Nicholas. How are you, Mr. Kenneth? Can I just call you Kenny?
Yes.
Kenny.
Call me Kenneth or Kenny is fine.
Kenny or Ken, yeah, normally.
Or Ken, yes.
And he's the Deputy Director of Policy Plus, that's right. And tell me more about Policy Plus first, what it is, and then we can sort of dig out more about why you are so interested in the carbon market in the end. Please, by all means.
Yes, thank you, Pa Poempida. First of all, thank you for having me.
Sure. You're most welcome here.
Forum Keadilan TV. So basically, as you said, Policy Plus. I'm from Policy Plus. It's a young youth think tank.
Okay.
Here in Indonesia.
Not so many youth. They're interested in doing sort of something, in terms of thoughts, in terms of sort of giving ideas. Normally, they just want to have fun, right?
I know. That's why
this is good. I like it. Yeah. So.
Yes.
So how do you come up with the ideas and gathering all these youth and sort of come up with the ideas of being a think tanks and all? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we're up and coming. We're very new. 1 year to like 2 months ago at March. So still a long way to go. But we're a collection of passionate individuals, policymakers in government and outside of government.
Millennials, all millennials.
Even Gen Zs.
Oh, Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gen Zs. We're passionate about how to combine all these different thoughts from different sectors. We have 3 pillars: human rights, good governance, and sustainability.
So the third one, that's why that you are interested in sort of in the carbon market, right?
Yes.
So what is your aim in that particular sectors? I'm not going to discuss the others because we are in the Carbon Forum right now.
Of course.
I would like to dig out more in the green side of it.
Yes. I think sustainability and climate action, including the carbon market, it's a very, very lucrative market right now here in Indonesia. After the last election, I think we're getting traction in terms of awareness of the public regarding environmental problems.
Okay.
And as you know, the UN, we have what it's called the Paris Agreement, and it's an agreement of 190 plus countries to focus on
achievement of the
NDCs and having a low carbon development here in Indonesia. And what's interesting for us as a think tank is the element of multi-stakeholder collaboration in it, because environmental issues and climate issues they're multidisciplinary in nature.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have to look not only from the environmental angle, but also the social angle, the economic angle, and with the target of achieving net zero for Indonesia 2060.
Okay.
One of the most, I think, strategic policy that the government has enacted is the carbon market, or the inside the carbon pricing
Right.
presidential regulation. And in here we have two methods in the carbon market. First is the cap and trade, and second is the offset mechanism.
Okay.
And we see a lot of now carbon project developers coming in Indonesia. And what Policy Plus seeks is to empower both the youth with the information about how these carbon projects came to be, how we can monitor their implementation, and of course to also educate the people of Indonesia on how to push for more companies to be involved in carbon projects. So it's not only the job of the government, it's now the job of the private sector as well. And when we mapped out different stakeholders, we see at least 7 stakeholders involved. Number one is, of course, the government. The private sector, second. Third is the media, also plays a huge part. Youth. We see the turnout in the last election. Youth plays a huge role. Academia, civil society, and last but not least, the local communities themselves. Because we see what we see in Indonesia as a biodiverse country. We have in 2016 maybe 10 million people living in forest areas. They're very concerned about the conservation of forests and biodiversity, but we can link that. We can give them the opportunity to conserve the forest, at the same time gain economic benefits by selling carbon offset credits and being involved in the carbon economy here in Indonesia.
Good, excellent. Have you actually identified the feeling or the current sort of perspective of the Indonesian youth related to the existing level of the, first of all, awareness related to the environmental issue and sustainability? And second of all is actually the damages that the development caused because of the development, the too much development. So have you actually identified what sort of empirical point of view from this youth? Can you actually elaborate on that, please?
We're actually right now rolling out a qualitative survey to youths in Jabodetabek area regarding their awareness of environmental issues and carbon market specifically. Hopefully we can release the results soon. But based on what we experience, for example, last week we had webinar on green jobs. And the turnout was amazing. We have 60 plus people on a Saturday. You know, on a Saturday evening, they all come to our webinar and ask questions because they're concerned about their future. And you know, the World Economic Forum actually created the survey of you know, the 10 big challenges in the future, and climate inaction is number one. So it's something that the youths of the world today, including Indonesia, are quite aware of. And in terms of the cost of the development, we see now there are a lot of chatter online in X or Twitter, on X or in Instagram, and this talks about how do we ensure that development can still continue, infrastructure development can still continue, but at the same time, you have to pay attention to the environmental aspect of it. not only the environmental aspect, but people living in that area, what kind of economic opportunities are there, and ESG came up a lot because right now in the industry, if you want to enter the job market, all companies are talking about ESG or the environmental, social, and governance.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So is that from you identified that from the discussion or from your survey?
From the discussions last week, but with the survey, hopefully we can release it soon.
Okay.
So we know empirically, as you said, the data, but I am sure there are a lot of also think tanks in Indonesia, like Kata Data or other think tanks who are actively asking the people or the youths about the awareness of the carbon market and carbon related issues.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So do you think that the what you call it, the enthusiasm is there?
The
enthusiasm is there.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of technical issues related to this environmental and sort of decarbonizing sort of process. And what sort of level of understanding from the youth at the moment that they actually already understand much about these decarbonizations, first of all?
Maybe the most simple thing that I notice is, when we buy products, there's this sort of labels about
eco
it being
labels, green
eco-labels, sustainable, not only in the environmental aspect, but also in the social aspect. Maybe this product is from, rural areas, farmers in coffees, for example, like farmers in Kerinci, in other parts of Indonesia, that when they see this label, they're more interested in buying those products rather than...
Is there any sort of attitude that they are making sure that the label is there?
Yes. What I notice is because these labels already exist right now in the market, I think it's again comes down to a market-driven approach. When they see that the demand is up for more sustainable products, companies are forced to adhere to those standards, adhere to the voice and concerns of the public. And more Fortune 500 companies and multinational companies are pushing. That's why domestic products are also doing the same. This is also the same with ecotourism. I think youths are also more aware of that. We see a lot of movement about maybe waste management, sustainable waste management, beach cleanups, river or kali cleanup.
But it's not only about wasted management.
No, it's not.
Because wasted, if you drunk too much, then you're wasted and then you have to manage. No, I'm just kidding. Because the youth, normally when they party, things can be sort of out of hand, right?
And the use of bottles as well. There are a lot of like bottles or tumblers.
Avoiding what you call it, the plastics use.
Plastic use. From that, then we can bring the conversation to other things. For example, like carbon market, green jobs. I think green jobs is big also.
Right. So they're very much interested in getting into green jobs, right?
Yes.
So it is basically our role as we are in an association of the carbon emission expert. And we'd like to sort of promote the issues on these kind of things. And I think green jobs is like right in front of us. It's just a matter on how we actually can distinguish what sort of thing that can be sort of absorbed by the Indonesian human resources. So basically that's the thing. And if they're interested in what you call it, sort of green jobs, what is the youth sort of expectations towards the governments to sort of accommodate this so they can actually get into it in a better way, sort of things. Yeah.
Yeah. What I see is trainings.
Okay, training.
We need trainings.
Free trainings,
free
or
trainings, of course.
Okay, not the paid.
Not
training.
the paid one. Free
so
trainings.
that's bad news for us, the association, because somebody needs to pay us, right, to train them. Okay.
Free training on related green skills, for example, maybe carbon accounting. A lot of companies, a lot of organizations are asking for their companies to be audited in terms of their ESG compliance, in terms of their carbon footprint.
Okay.
And so if, maybe accounting students or economic students or environmental science students can help have that certification, and the government can create a hub for these skills to be developed and trained, I think it would be awesome for the youths. Right now, what I understand, Kartu Prakerja is involving several
Getting
several
not
green,
yet.
for green skills, for the training of the green skills in the Prakerja portal. I think if we can duplicate that and make it more known to the public, I think it's going to be, beneficial for young people, going to the job market.
Okay. So do you think that the Prakerja sort of program will be sort of extended, or will be continued, or it's just going to be like that's it until the end of this sort of administration?
Hopefully it can be extended, because as I understand it, it has been quite successful. Not only for job seekers, but youths to increase their skills. And if we can tap that and like connect that to the carbon pricing policy and the roadmap, what we expect, the kind of skills and the kind of human resources needed to implement mitigation and adaptation projects, then it would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, last but not least is related to the carbon market.
Yes.
Do you think the youth is interested in sort of doing a lot of trading in the carbon market, in the carbon IDX carbon exchange? Yeah. And the second one is actually, do you think the youth is interested in claiming that they are actually net zero for themselves? If it is the case, then there might be something that is very interesting in the future.
Yes.
And there's going to be a lot of hopes for the youth.
Yes.
Please.
I think I believe there will be a lot of interest, but I think it's up to both the government and businesses to invite them in. The government right now, they have been, quite positive in terms of regulation and involvement of different stakeholders to develop it further. But what I believe, the government should create a concrete task force specifically for carbon market implementation, but not only involving ministries, but also associations, businesses, academia, and experts, and youth organizations and think tanks. So, number one, information can get disseminated quickly. Number two, the government can, have a concrete action plan. So maybe, for example, in the next 5 years, what kind of projection that the government would see in terms of the number of carbon projects, the number of green skills required. Then relevant stakeholders, such as maybe universities, can also help with preparing what kind of expertise that are needed.
But mostly the government concern is about achieving NDC.
Yes.
Do you think the youth can assist in, basically assisting the government to achieve that thing?
Yes. I think it goes hand in hand. When the carbon market is thriving, then we can claim it as a country for the NDC contribution. We have a big task ahead of us because we have a target submitted to UNFCCC in 2030, and then again in 2060. We also have a target for Volunet Sync, forest and other land use target in 2030.
Okay.
So with all those targets, big targets ahead of us, when we have a thriving market, more companies or non-governmental agencies, civil societies being involved in projects, it can be as simple as replantation, or it can be as simple as agroforestry. And we have a lot of that actually, but no one is claiming that to be an offset credit to be to be sold in the IDX carbon yet. So what we need to do is making sure that people know that they can claim it and then register it to the IDX carbon.
Yeah, one of the challenges is actually to sort of aggregate it in a sort of bigger scale.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it is small scales, there's no... I mean, what I'm saying is the economic scale, if you're using it to small scale, then it's not going to be economical. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So there should be a way to sort of aggregate consolidate and aggregate it.
Yes.
Well, Ken, it's been very interesting what we discussed today. And can you actually address your hope, your expectations toward the futures, and what you want to say to the youth of Indonesia related to this decarbonization process? Please, by all means.
Yes. Thank you, Pak Poempida. My hopes is that number one, more youths are more aware of the stake of the carbon or the climate crisis, because right now is the fact is that climate change exists and we need all resources, not only government but also the youths to be involved. Number two is that the carbon market can be more vibrant. We want to see not only maybe energy related projects, but also maybe forest related, waste related. There are a lot of sectors. So we need, number one, the carbon project developers. Number two, academics and experts. Number three, the youth and civil society to push that further. And last but not least, we want a green jobs regulation here in Indonesia. We see that already in the Philippines, but we don't have that yet. We want to also have a regulation specifically on greenwashing. It's something that many activists are crying out to make sure that carbon projects are not only good on paper but actually helps to mitigate climate change. We want that here so that we're not getting false hopes. We see a lot of projects, but if the projects don't really address the issues of climate change or not sequester or make it carbon neutral, then it's going to be very alarming for the future.
Well, it's been very interesting. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Maybe we can actually have another discussion in the future.
Yes.
So thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Decarbonizers, carbon activists all over the world. That was Kenneth Nicholas from Policy Plus think tank, the youth think tank. So we just discussed a lot of things related to the role of the youth in the shaping up of the carbon market of Indonesia. And hopefully things are going to work out well. And just keep in touch with us and stay tuned in the Carbon Forum until the next episode. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.